Pouring the wine. Congratulations, you have successfully taken an order, fetched the wine and opened it for your guests. Now you are ready to learn about the vital step of getting that wine from the bottle into your guests' glasses. In this lesson, we are going to learn about using a waiter's hand, pouring wine, finer points on pouring, and placing the bottle. Let's start with using a waiter's hand. As part of your equipment, you should have a correctly folded waiter's hand. Every time you pour wine, a little bit of wine will be left at the opening of the bottle. Look what can happen when you pour without a waiter's hand. This is not acceptable. We learned how to fold a waiter's hand in the last subject. Do you remember? Step 1. Place waiter's hand on a flat surface with the seams facing up. Step 2. Folding one side in half, then fold the opposite side until it meets the fold. Step 3. Turn the waiter's hand and fold the other two sides. Step 4. Fold the waiter's hand in half at the bend. With your waiter's hand ready, you are ready to start pouring wine for your guests. When you are pouring wine, always work from the right side of the guest, holding the bottle with one hand around the bottle's body, with the label always facing the guest you are pouring for. After you have opened any wine, start by pouring a taster for the host. This is so that they can check if the wine is in good condition. This taster should be about 30 milliliters, just enough for a little taste. We will find out more about wine's faults and what to do if the guest does not approve in the next subject. If the host approves, you can start filling the other glasses. Start with the ladies, moving clockwise around the table from the host. Then the gentleman, and finally the host. The host's glass is always filled last, even if she is a lady. If there is a guest of honor, serve that person first, then the ladies, then the gentleman, and finally the host. If there are 8 or more guests at the table, it is acceptable to pour for everyone in a clockwise direction, regardless of whether they are ladies or gentlemen. When serving wine to a large group like this, it is very important to pour equal amounts so everyone at the table has wine. It would be very poor service to pull full glasses for the first few guests and have none left over for the last few. Next, let's look at some finer points on pouring. When pouring, ensure that the label is facing the guest. This is excellent service. Never allow the bottle to touch the rim of the glass. Keep it a few centimeters above it. This applies to both still and sparkling wines. Similarly, don't pour from too high, as this will cause splashing. There is nothing worse than getting wine on a guest or on the table. To help make sure you are not dripping any wine, give the bottle a slight twist as you finish pouring, and then bring your waiter's hand to the top of the bottle to catch any wine left on the lip of the bottle. Pour, twist, catch. Pour, twist, catch. Pouring sparkling wine can be a little more tricky as the bottles are bigger and heavier, and the wine is bubbly, which can make pouring a little difficult. You should hold a bottle of sparkling wine in the same way you do a still bottle. Remember to make sure the label is facing the guest. If you are not confident in pouring using one hand, it is acceptable to use 2 fingers to help balance the bottle like this. Sometimes you might find the bubbles are fizzing up the glass. To help with this, you can use 2 pours for each guest. Pour a little bit the first time, wait for the bubbles to subside, and then slowly fill the glass to 3/4 full. Do not overpour, as this will make it difficult for the guest to drink. If the glass is too full, the wine will be in the glass for longer. For every minute that sparkling wine sits in a glass, its temperature rises by 1 degree, and nobody wants to drink warm bubbly. Finally, let's learn about placing the bottle. If you are pouring white or sparkling wine, you can ask the host whether he would like to leave the bottle in the ice bucket or on the table. Sometimes the wine might be a little too cold and the guest would like it to warm up a bit. If you are placing it on the table, make sure it is on an underliner. If they would like it in the ice bucket, make sure it is within easy reach of the host, but not in the way of anyone else. If you are serving red wine, simply place the bottle back on the underliner. So to recap, in this lesson we looked at using a waiter's hand, pouring wine, finer points on pouring, and placing the bottle. Pouring wine just takes a bit of practice. The best way to do this is to fill an empty bottle of wine with water and practice, practice, practice. Good luck on pouring wine perfectly for your guests.